Oh, you just gave me chills.
Okay. All right. And then she went in for a hug. Oh. I said, so what I'm telling you is that Christ is coming back very soon.
Let me help you. And she's like, I don't really need to sleep, but I could use some caffeine. So I went and found that girl a Red Bull.
Yeah, you did.
And just then, I felt a pair of hands on my face, turned my face, and it was my dad. And he says, look at me.
Hi friends, I'm Jennifer Eddings, and this is the Call It Collective. The Call It Collective was designed to be a safe place for anyone that works in healthcare to come in and tell the stories, the real stories of what happens every single day. For far too long, people have asked healthcare workers to be very polished, to be very come together, perfectly kept. When the truth is, a lot of us are carrying things much heavier than the patients we care for. Today, I am joined by one of my favorite people. Her name is Marissa, and she has probably the closest to the same light that I feel like is within me. Meeting her that first day, I knew instinctively that her and I were created from the same cloth. And I just want to give you a chance. One, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And I want to give you a chance to just introduce yourself to our two people that are watching and tell us a little about what you do.
Okay, I'm Marissa, and I've been in healthcare on and off. I guess it's been since 2008, starting in Land O'Lakes, opening a hospital from day one. I think our first couple of weeks on the job, we were doing punch lists because we didn't even have the certificate of occupancy yet. So healthcare runs deep. It's been embedded in me from probably, oh my gosh, I think age 7 or 6 is when I met my stepdad. He was a new doctor in the area. And so, yeah, I've just grown up around healthcare. It's been at the dinner table. It's just been, our family.
I think it's literally just in your DNA.
It really is. It's just something that stuck with me. It was, the compassion. I'm a deep empath. So I feel things so deeply. And I think just being around those conversations and being around the patients. I think I was 7 when I diagnosed myself with pleurisy.
Fantastic.
Successfully, too. I came in, of course, over dramatic as always. I came in not feeling well, and I remember the nurse was checking me in, and she's like, "So, Marissa, what do you think is going on today?" And I'm like, I just know it's pleurisy. And
I'd have been like, girl,
she laughed.
Get out of here.
And she looked at my mom and she's like, well, what do you think? She's like, well, if she is right, she's going to go to med school. I was right, but I didn't go to med school.
It's okay.
So I ended up in healthcare. And I didn't go to medical school. I was not a clinician. I didn't go to nursing school, but I ended up there, and I couldn't be more proud of the role where I fit in. And, I call myself the fun ambassador.
And I'm here for it, by the way. We're going to do a hashtag fun ambassador.
Hashtag fun ambassador.
We're going to actually put that on your LinkedIn eventually.
Perfect. I love
the
it.
organization will just adapt to it.
Let's just adapt.
Yeah, we're going to adapt it.
I think we need to the whole architecture thing.
Amen.
We need to just have a fun ambassador.
We do.
It's important.
We do.
But yeah, so I take care of the people. I take care of the people that take care of the people.
You know what? That is such a powerful, even before you said, I take care of the people that take care of the people. You take care of people. And I think to your last week I was talking, and in nursing, they always ask you what your why is, and it's supposed to keep you grounded to why you came into it, because it is difficult. But my response to that was, the better question to ask me is why not? Because it's just who I think I am. Now, Marissa and I have a interesting story as far as how we met.
Yes.
So we've worked for the same place. Mm-hmm. Which will not be named, for a while, at the same time, parallel. She was at one location, I was another. Didn't really know of each other's existence. I kind of put myself out there during COVID as a representative of this particular location. And because of that, and because you are so invested in the mission, whether it's their mission, it's our mission, right? Because of that, she had seen me on social media. I show up to a friend's house one night and I don't even get to say hello. And she's hugging me like, I know you. I'm like, I don't know you, but I want to be friends with you. And she explained to me who she was, how she knew me. And since then, I feel like even though we do not get to talk near enough, there's probably been a year or more in time lapse,
Easily,
right? That we haven't spoken. I was actually a guest on another podcast several weeks ago, and it was for that place. And they were asking, or they said, you know, at your location, this and this and this looks like it's being done, and it's so great. How do we get that done everywhere? I said, no. The work is being done, I assure you. And I said, I know the people that are doing the work. And when I said that, my heart immediately knew you, because I know what you're doing. I said, the difference is we don't have storytellers out there that are telling this story on a platform like I've built for myself. But have no doubt, the work is being done. So I say that to give you the credit, because you are doing the work. And I know, even for me, and I probably get more recognition for the work that I do than most because of my social media platform or whatever, and it's still hard. And there's still days that I do say, what am I doing? Am I making a difference? Is this worth it? Because I'm killing parts of myself to try to pour out into other people.
Yeah.
And then I think of people like you. I know you're doing it. And it probably comes with little to no recognition.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I wouldn't say no recognition. There's definitely people out there that see the work, that understand the depth that I have, and the love that I have for my people. I can say I'm over 3 different locations. So I have a reach in 3 separate locations. And I can tell you there's one location, if you were to look at the core of what we are and what we do, it is absolutely prevalent. And I think that I give all the thanks and the gratefulness to the leader of that location. This person has poured into me, and
is it who we were talking about earlier?
What's that?
Is it who we were talking about earlier? Mm-mm. Okay, go ahead.
Nope.
Keep going. It's okay.
Nope.
Tell me later.
This person he's a leader, and he is my mentor. And I can honestly say that he knows me. He knows my heart, and his words are always, he's us. He believes in the mission. He knows what the mission and what the love and what the passion can do.
Yeah.
And he is living proof at that location, is living proof that the human side of healthcare is the important part that moves mountains.
I say that the emotional part of it, the spiritual part of it, the mental piece of it is just as important.
It is.
As the prescriptions that we write, the tests that we perform. And I think that I know that not everybody gets that. And I know it makes a huge difference. Now, I told you earlier, I sent you a list of questions. You know, we talked about what we were going to talk about. And I figured out, and of course with you, I can ask one question and we could probably talk for 4 hours.
Absolutely.
So we had to narrow it down to like, what do you want me to ask you? Because we're going to never get there. And the question that you had preferred, and that honestly I think is beautiful, is what do you believe, or how do you believe? Why do you think, sorry, I'm going to get it out. I'm having a stroke. Why do you believe that a shift is desperately needed? I'd love to say that I think it started. I think it has started. But I think that the devil works really well, really fast. And I think that regardless of the light and the work that God has placed us here to do, which I do believe there are a core group of us that are healers. And we know each other when we see each other. There's no words that have to be spoken. You just know.
You know.
You know. You're made from the same fire. You came out of the same thing, right? Why do you feel like it's so desperately needed for us to make sure we keep the vulnerable alive in healthcare. We keep the humility there. We bring the compassion. We bring the empathy. I just want you to start there and then we'll figure it out later.
So I'm going to answer your question with a question.
Fantastic.
Why does anybody get into healthcare?
Well, my question comes from somewhat of a jaded place sometimes.
Okay.
The reason I got into healthcare, I think I even said it before, is like, why not, right? Mm-hmm. Because I want to help people. Mm-hmm. Just like the healers, the helpers, it's whatever. You can do the same, the synonymous. I do think that I used to say this, but when COVID first hit, that I try to look for the good in everything. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I found good about COVID was I do think there are some people in healthcare that are there for the lucrative part of it, that they know that they can get a good amount of money 3 days a week. Like it looks good. Or they're looking for their doctor husband, which don't do that. Not a good idea. We have stories. But I do think there are those people that are there for a paycheck. And I felt like COVID kind of washed those people out because they're like, I'm not going into a COVID unit. So it got rid of them. Mm-hmm. And now I can't say that anymore because I feel like it brought the next generation in. Yeah. Because they heard of nurses doing travel nursing during COVID, paying off a house in a year. Yeah. So we've also brought those people back. So now more than ever, I think
it's a lucrative thing.
Yeah,
so my
for some people
is, and it's not my job like in a job description, and it's not a job that's on paper, but my job is to seek out the people who need me and what I bring to the table. And that is, how do I re-inspire? Because I'm not in the business to inspire people. If they're in healthcare, they've been inspired. They've been inspired to heal. They've been inspired to help where I exist and where my realm is, to re-inspire. How do I reignite that fire? How do I get them to remember that it's not the same mundane thing, that they actually are doing wonderful things every single day? It's sometimes a thankless job. It's sometimes...
You just adjust that. I don't think sometimes is fair to you. I think it's probably most of the time.
Most of the time.
A thankless job.
Yeah. It's a thankless job.
Yeah.
I don't think that we do enough for our caregivers. I don't think that I mean, let me tell you one thing. Like, being the phone ambassador, some of the things that I do is throw some really amazing parties. Like, I have brought the party. Like, you tell me, hey, we need to celebrate. I'm here with bells on. We will celebrate. But a question that I go into my units a lot of times, like respiratory therapy, I walked into that unit and I said, hey guys, I know what we're really good at. We're really good at throwing a party. We're really good at throwing you guys some good eats and some prizes and, like swag galore. Like we want, anytime there's something to celebrate, we're there with bells on, let's celebrate. But where and how are we showing up for you on the days where you don't feel like a celebration? You just, it doesn't matter what you do, everything you throw, everything that you are putting into it, it's just not enough and you can't save that patient. Like, how do we show up for you for that? And it's usually silent. It's quiet. It's one of those feelings where you're just kind of there like, okay, I get it. We're not.
We're not.
We're not there for
I was literally waiting for you to tell me, like, I was going to be like, what'd they say? Like, don't be on the edge of my seat.
We're not.
And to hear you say we're not.
We're not.
That hurts, to be honest with you.
It's painful. It's painful to watch. I asked another question, like, so on those days where you're doing everything you can to give that, great customer service and make sure that patient experience score is there and they're going to love you. And you just did chest compressions for an hour and a half and heard moms screaming at you, and please save them. Don't let them go. And you can't do it. How do we show up? But how do you make it through that? How do you keep moving? Like, what's your coping mechanism?
I've never even asked, and honestly, what does it look like for them when they clock out that day? What happens?
The answers is awful. The answer is gut wrenching. It's brought tears to my eyes more times than I can count. But they just have to bury it and keep moving, because the next patient and the next family, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. It's not because they don't
They
care.
don't know. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know to care.
Yeah.
And, if you think about, the very nature of healthcare and hospitals, it's, everything that's happening in room 7 is that's their world.
Yeah.
That's their world. Nothing else exists beyond room 7, because that's their world either imploding or, what if it's mother baby and it's just beginning. It's very segmented. It's this family and then it's this family. And we're asking healthcare professionals every day to, okay, you just lost a patient after trying for an hour and a half. Now I need you to go, suck it up and put a smile on and get those patient experience scores for room 8.
So let me ask you this question. So, because we keep saying patient, right? That's the right thing to say. But the chances are, at least for the people that I work with and I know, it's not patient in room 7. That's Sarah. That, for like your respiratory therapists you're talking about, which do not get near enough credit for what they do. That's Sarah. That's 27-year-old Sarah who, had 2 miscarriages, whatever. We learn, we should be making connections as humans with these people. So it's not that we lost patient in room 7. We lost Sarah. And that hurts.
It does.
And you're right. We ask them every day. And I say we ask, I was asked of it too. You code a patient in room 7. You got 2 minutes to fix your face. Go to room 8 because they need water. And you get into room 8. And you're right. They're living their own, right? Their own story. So you have to keep into account their own emotions of that. Like, this is mom. She's sick. She's this or that. Are we doing them a favor by not telling them what happened in room 7? I'm not saying share HIPAA, right? I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm. Being human.
Are we doing them a favor by telling them that I did not just do compressions on a 27-year-old mother? I don't know that I am. I don't know that that's how it's supposed to be. And I think maybe their perception of their care would be a little different. I dare to say those patient experience scores would possibly improve if they knew that Nurse Jennifer did compressions on a 27-year-old and she didn't make it, but then came in and gave me water with a smile on her face.
With 100%.
What do you think about that?
I think it's very human. I think that that's the missing element. I think that, we talk about employee satisfaction scores and we talk about, and it's always like, do we do enough here? And do we do enough there? And do you feel recognized? Okay, that's my favorite. Do you feel recognized? When do we recognize somebody? When they do something spectacular, when they do something beyond their job expectation. But what if that's not the recognition that they're looking for? What if they just want to feel human?
Yeah.
What if they just want to connect with their coworkers, with their leaders as human beings? And okay, so let's talk about room 7, then going to room 8 and they need water. Maybe after going through the emotional turmoil that they just went through, losing a patient, maybe they don't want to get water.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing, the person, the fun ambassador that's coming through the halls with a Grinch, somebody dressed in a Grinch costume because it's Christmas time.
Fuck off.
And they're just take your celebration and shove it.
Yeah, shove your Grinch up your ass, kid. Yeah, be honest.
I should be in that Grinch costume because I just don't feel like it. And I think that as leaders, as we grow these people into leadership positions and we grow these people into, different business roles, and I call them business roles because even though if they're a clinician, they work their way up. Yeah. Eventually something happens that, the human side falls off and it's like, well, why aren't they happy? We're throwing them a recognition party. Like we did this. Yeah, we did that like 4 months ago. And what happens today is really deep and it's really hard and it's difficult. And I'm sorry, but food and a tchotchke is just not going to do it for me today.
Hey friends, Jennifer Eddings here, the heart behind the Call Light Collective. You know, I created this space for you. I created this space for me. I created this space for all of us. This is a space that is designed for us to come in and speak about the things that are heavy. For anyone that is navigating a difficult situation, for anyone that has found themselves standing in the middle of life just looking for the light. Around here, we talk about the things that aren't easy to talk about. We talk about the things that people typically are quiet about or whisper about. We talk about the things that literally can set someone free once they know that they're not the only one going through it. So this is my ask of you. I want you to be just as much of this movement as I am and the women that have sat in these chairs before you. I would love for you to share your story with me. Write to me. Tell me what you're going through. Share a situation that you've been navigating through and you just would love some outside perspective on. Or if you just really need to know that you're not alone. You can email me at comeformeasures24@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. Whenever you need something or you need someone to be there for you, I beg of you just to hit the call light, and I promise I'll answer. Because at the end of the day, all of us are just walking each other home one conversation at a time.
And I just don't think that we're doing enough. I said we recognize them. We love to recognize, but what if that recognition is not about
What they're looking for?
The scores and the awards and the things that we love to praise. What if the recognition is like, hey, I see you.
Yeah. Thanks for
You're
being
human
here.
What do you need?
Yeah.
What do you need?
There's so much depth in that question, right? Instead of trying to figure out how to recognize a profession, I'm not just a nurse. I'm Jennifer. Mm-hmm. And what I need is probably very different. Even if you and I run the same code, right? Let's just say we're both nurses who run the same code. And same outcome, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. What you need after that and what I need, probably very different. And it's shaped by our experiences, our mm-hmm. background, our all the things, who we are just as people. And when you try to wrap it all up in one bow, like here's your pizza or whatever, your squishy ball.
I love that you said pizza.
Yeah, it's a thing. Like, I still remember this story, and I know I'm not supposed to be talking this much, whatever. I remember this story from COVID. I was not nurse manager during I always talk about COVID in 2 rounds. There was the first round, which mm-hmm. I feel like attacked more of our elderly, like our SNF patients, our ALFs, right?
100%.
And for me, well, in my experience, which I recognize is very different from everybody else, and everyone's experience deserves its own honor. A lot of those patients were already DNRs. We did a lot of compassionate passing. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. But during that time, no one knew what we were doing.
Nobody.
And I remember, because toilet paper was a thing,
right? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Weird.
And listen, I get it. Like, honestly, me as a mother of 4, I appreciate. So the hospital gave away toilet paper as a thing. Yeah, right. Yeah, because you really couldn't find it. It was a recognition. As a mother of 4, I'll take 2, actually, if you don't mind. But I remember one of my nurses coming out. So I was the nurse manager in the second round, but this was the first. And she was, I say my nurse just because I love my people. She told me the story in retrospect that I thought the toilet paper in the moment, because I wasn't at the bedside or on a unit. I was more in a different supervisor type role. I thought the toilet paper was a great idea. I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. If you ask her right now, what was one of the most offensive days of her life? It was when she walked out and they handed her a roll of toilet paper.
I get it.
Right?
I get it.
I even have goosebumps saying it.
Yeah.
I would never have thought of that. She's like, how dare you? Every patient I have taken care of in the past month has died. And you hand me a roll of toilet paper and you think that that is going to help? She was so offended. And I hijacked that. Sorry. I'll go back to you because I should, because you have a lot to say. Anyway, I just think I love how you recognize the individual versus the role, the profession, the organization as a standard.
Yeah, it's not one size fits all. It's not here, let's give them this, they should be happy about it. It's, understanding, and it's little things. It's like, okay, we're going to do a hospital-wide gift as a token of our appreciation. And then it's recognizing, 50% of our demographic can't use this gift. So what message are we sending?
Yeah.
It's intention with the proper thought and understanding of humans and that human element, and just really trying to connect. I remember I had a situation. Don't call it a situation. It was a chance meeting. We were expecting the hurricanes last year. It was the second one within. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was like we had Helene,
it was so
which
bad,
devastated people with the floods, and then we didn't know what to expect with Milton.
Correct.
So every time there's a hurricane and we're doing the Team A thing. We expect, a little bit of emotional.
For sure.
But of course, we're like, this is your job. You're going to do this, and this is what your expectation is. Come and get this, get that. Like, this is just what we do, people. Like, get with it. And this is the second hurricane, and there were people devastated within 45 miles, 30 miles from where we were.
Yeah.
We don't know what to expect. We don't know if we're next. We just don't know. And I remember being on Team A and just kind of walking the halls as my Team A was coming in. And it was kind of a hectic thing. Like, there were some changes in report times. Like, that's a whole other story. I can do a whole segment on that. But anyway, I came face to face with this nurse, and she looked great. And she looked like she had it, like everything was great and had it all together. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, no, seriously, what do you need? You good? Do you have everything?
What made you ask her that?
I just felt moved to ask for her. And I was like,
that's the spirit, by the way, but go ahead.
Have you slept? Did you sleep okay? That's where she broke. No, I didn't sleep a wink. I haven't slept. And to be honest, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm like, but what do you need? And it was that moment that she was just like, you see me.
Yeah.
And it was emotional for me because I'm like, yeah, girl, I see you. You're telling me you're okay. There's food in the cafeteria. When you get all of your information and your sleeping arrangements, come see me. And if you don't, I'm going to come find you. I'm going to make sure you get to sleep because you need sleep. I can't expect you to do what you need to do if you haven't, if you're not taken care of, if you're not complete. I was like, let me help you. And she's like, I don't really need to sleep, but I could use some caffeine. So I went and found that girl a Red Bull.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. 3 of them.
I found a couple. Yeah. Luckily, I had bought a 6-pack and I had it in the fridge. And I was able to locate her and I brought a Red Bull. I'm like, listen to
Marissa,
me.
you would have bought them for her. Don't act like you wouldn't
Oh, no, I bought it. I bought a whole pack.
Okay.
And I gave
sure.
her mine.
Yeah.
But I was like, here's my number. This is my card. I'm Team A. I'm sitting on instant command. I'm here with you. Anything you need, you reach out to this number. Because I don't know what she was going through. Yeah. I don't know if she had a 6-month-old at home, that was a breastfed baby, and now she's not going to be able to do that, and she's going to have to care for a patient. And who knows? It could be a quick 12-hour thing. We could be here for 42 hours. We could be here for 4 days.
That's very true.
But just being that first point of contact on her Team A shift with somebody that didn't take, yeah, I'm fine, and be like, yeah, okay, cool, great, go get it, go get at it, take care of it, like, you're good to go. No.
Yeah.
I need you to pause for a minute, and I need you to tell me what you need.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of love that I give. And it's full circle, because when we care for the caregivers, when we re-inspire them, it does come full circle. So as we are making this shift into healthcare, to make healthcare better, to change the perception that healthcare is evil and that they're just after things, like, I really do believe there is a place for healthcare that can truly save lives and better people's lives. And I want to be a part of that.
You know, I've talked, people have asked before, whatever, like, you know, you're at the bedside. And when I was at bedside, you know, in ICU, because that's all I've ever really done, I had 2 patients, right? So that's what I felt like my reach was. And then always the question for me has been, how can you help more? And so by becoming nurse manager, I was like, and there was doesn't matter. There was a place in there between that, whatever. But I was like, I am helping more because I'm here for my people and they're helping. So I'm helping theoretically in my mind, all of them. And when I got into the role that I have now, that was kind of my goal. Like, how can I feel like I'm decent at helping people? How can I help more? Like, that's all I want to do is how can I do more? And I don't know that question is asked enough by us, by some. I feel like you ask yourself that question a lot.
I do.
And I just have this overwhelming need to tell you that I see you. I thank you for that, because it is a thankless thing.
It can be. It can absolutely. But you know what? I say that it's thankless because I think, you know, people above what I do, they don't see necessarily the value in it. You know, they're very clouded. And I don't want to say that's a bad thing. It's not. I mean, we all have a goal and we all have to meet these goals and we all have reasons to expand and grow, and we need these things to happen and we need to make sure they happen. But I like to think of myself as the person that goes, you know, just below that surface and, you know, comes in. I mean, again, circling back to that fun ambassador, I plan parties for the caregivers. And so when tasked with a party, you know, oh, you're going to throw a celebration for Nurses Week. Okay, great. What do? I go and sit in the units and I'm like, hey guys, I'm throwing a party for you. And I can throw a party so the cows come home for something that makes, you know, sense for me and brings value. What brings value in a party for you?
Yeah.
What would bring value? Because I don't want to sit here and throw time and money and things at something that doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not in your shoes. So help me help you. I want to make sure you're feeling, you know, like you've got that moment where you can step out of your role and you can relax a little bit. You can enjoy the things that we're doing for you, to recognize you, right? Because it's not about me. It's about you. This is about you. And when I shared that with someone from corporate, I guess word got around that we had a fantastic Nurses Week, and it was super fun, and everybody was loving it. They couldn't remember the things that they did the years before because it was just so jaw-dropping. And she asked me, she's like, how did you come about doing this? And I said, well, I went to the units and I asked them what brought value to them. And she paused, which seemed like a decade, and she looked at me and she's like, I'm a nurse. I was a nurse before I got into this corporate position. And I can honestly say nobody has ever done that.
Yeah. No one's ever asked
Nobody
me.
has ever gone.
No one's ever asked me what good felt like for me.
What makes sense, you know, and what brings value to you. Like, if I'm going to throw you a party, like, I mean, I'm not going to do things that I want to do because, you know, it's very different. It's very different. And the responses that I got were, you know, like, please no box lunches for night shift. Like, we're tired of the box lunches. I'm like, done. Easy. Done. Okay, great. How about we do our lunch on night shift at a time where we can go? Done. Okay. These are not big things. They're not big shifts. It's just getting to that human side. Like, I see you. You're important to me. And I'm going to make sure you feel that, because when you feel valued, that goes into your patients. Yeah. Not to saying that they're not already pouring into the patients, because they do. That. Especially my ICU. I have love for my ICU staff, and my night
you.
staff. You know, my night staff, you are a different breed, and you have my heart because, wow, just wow. You don't get enough credit. Night staff does not get enough credit.
They don't. I was ICU night shift for a long time.
ICU and night shift, like, listen, different breed. Completely different breed.
I own that, actually.
So, yeah, I see you. It's.
Did you see what you said?
What?
Your ICU night shift.
I see you.
You see what you did there?
I see what I did
so
there.
Good. Okay, good.
I see you. I love you. I see the value that you bring, and I want you to feel that love. And I want you to know that it's important to me to make you feel that way, to make you feel seen and heard, and more than just, Karen on ICU.
Yeah, more than just employee number 74242, right? What? Okay. You are, I've already told you, one of my favorite people, for sure. There's such a light, right? And I'm curious, have you always been this way? Like, do you feel like this really was how you were born, to call out the good in others and to make them feel human and seen and valued? Do you think it was life experience or both?
I think I've always been a super empath, and it comes with its own issues and challenges being an empath. It's taken a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness to understand the boundaries that you have to create. So yeah, I think I've always been this way. I've always been the therapist, in friend situations. I've always been somebody that could easily talk to other people and people come to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was pushed towards the healthcare realm when I was a patient myself. I was in the hospital for about 28 days, almost lost my life and my children's lives while they were in utero. So had
Tell me about that.
Well,
Like,
I was,
yeah.
Abbreviated version, I had gestational pancreatitis the entire pregnancy. It went undiagnosed until about 30 weeks when I presented with severe pain. Ended up having to be transferred from one place to another. They said it was going to be a super simple surgery. The surgery was a success, but when it came to extubate, I could not be extubated. I had pink foam, pulmonary effusion, pulmonary edema, was in septic shock and started to rapidly decline. Had multiple
Marissa, that's
organs.
terrifying.
It was. Woke up on the operating table, unable to breathe, intubated. And of course, I'm looking at them like, hey, guys, can't breathe. And the general consensus, like, yeah, we know. Yeah, we know.
You're fucked.
I'm like, I can't.
Like, we got it.
Okay. So, being in healthcare and understanding healthcare, I'm like, read the room. So I read the room and I'm like, okay, everybody seems kind of calm.
Okay,
I've got a ventilator here, breathe with the ventilator. Like, we got this. I was awake and I kind of glanced at the bottom of my bed and see my dad talking with then he was my pulmonologist. I didn't know that at the time. And they're just kind of, total Grey's Anatomy moment where they're just kind of standing at the bedside and communicating. And a PICC line comes in and they're like, honey, we're going to have to put a PICC line in. And I give them the thumbs up because I can't talk. I get that PICC line put in and then they push that propofol and out I went.
Yeah.
So I had the easy part. My family had the hard part. Was in the ICU for 4 days, intubated.
I love your perspective.
It's true. I had it easy.
Just keep going. Shut up. Keep going. But respectfully.
So it came time to extubate. I was doing well. They had me in a bypass.
And baby's still in?
Baby's still in.
Okay.
Of course. Now at this moment, this is my why moment. When I woke up on the operating table and I realized the depth of the situation and like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I put my hand on my 30-week pregnant belly with twins and I am terrified because I don't know. I don't know if they're alive. I don't know if they're going to be there. Yeah, I have no idea. So I gave up and I was done. And I remember just saying, I can't do this anymore. And I slumped because it was hard. It felt like I was breathing out of those little coffee stirs. That's how it felt to breathe. And so I gave up.
Suffocating,
really. Just take me, because I'm done. And just then, I felt a pair of hands on my face, turned my face, and it was my dad. And he says, "Look at me." "Yes, sir." I'm looking at you. And he says to me, "You're going to be okay." Okay. Dad says I gotta fight, so now it's time to fight. And I fought. And, they put me out, being extubated, 4 days later after the medically induced coma. I came through, and I looked to my left, I looked to my right, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, what was going on? So 24 hours later, I'm in full active labor, in Pepin, the hard place where they were checking me because I had tachycardia in that whole episode. So, it's just totally not normal. But the babies came, and they were natural, and they came, and it was beautiful, and everybody was okay. And like, we survived something that we weren't supposed to survive. Yeah. And I'll never forget it. It was several days after the babies were born, and I'm sitting in the car on the way to the NICU to go see them. And I'm just thinking, like, all I can think of is getting to my babies. And I'm in the elevator, and I am just standing there thinking, it's kind of in like a dazed state, just like moving on through. And there's a anesthesia nurse that's across the way, and she is eyeballing me, and she's looking at me, and finally she couldn't take it. And she's like, "You going to visit somebody?" And I'm like, "Yeah, our twins." And she's like, "You had twins?" And I was like, "Yeah, we had twins, a boy and a girl." And she's like, "Castillo?" And I was like, "Yeah." And this woman flew across the elevator. She threw me in her arms, and she's got me in this hold. And she's like, "I was your anesthesia nurse, and I was the one that realized that you couldn't breathe. And it's amazing to see you here, and like, you're alive." So.
And she meant that with every breath in her body.
Life. She was the one that saved my life. And there she was, getting to see like what her compassion and what her care and what she does. If she hadn't spoken when she did, what were the outcomes? What would be the outcome? We wouldn't be here. And it was that moment that I realized, okay, I am called to take care of the people that took care of me. And so now it's full circle, and I take care of the caretakers. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, that was beautiful. And as a ICU nurse, like I hear you're part of that. I guarantee you, if she were here and I was getting her story, right, her perspective, the gratitude she feels to have been able to see you afterwards, to know, because so many times as a nurse, you take care for like this short of time, and you just don't know what happens after. Mm-hmm. Like, that's probably what she remembers the most is, oh my God, she made it, because she probably wasn't sure if you were going to.
I did ask my doctor at one point, because everybody was looking at me. Everybody that I saw thought, I just got these looks like I was like some kind of ghost or anomaly or something. And I said, "Doc, I need you to be real with me. And it's just him and I in the room." And I was like, "Why does everybody keep looking at me like I'm a doc, or like I'm a ghost? Like I don't get it." And he's like, "Let's take somebody with the level of pancreatitis that you had, and how sick you were, and the fact that you were septic and tachycardic and your organs were shutting down." He's like, "Without the twin gestation, your chance of survival was less than 3%.
Yeah.
You add the fact that you were pregnant with twins."
Yeah. It was negative 4%.
"You're not supposed to be here."
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He's like, "But here you are." He's like, you're walking around, and you're shocking the crap out of people." And
so you are a ghost. You've never told me this story. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing it. And in this very moment, so many things make more sense to me. So much more.
Hello, I'm Miranda Johnson, the CEO and founder of Miraggio Collective. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe right now on YouTube to Comfort Measures Media channel and follow us on all your favorite podcast streaming channels. See you soon.
You were put here for a reason. You are here intentionally, and you made it because the work you're here to do is not done.
It's not done.
And I was already proud to know you and thankful to have you in my life. In this moment, I'm now realizing exactly what's sitting across from me. It doesn't fall past me. I already said it before. When I say it now, I need you to hear me. I see you. And I'm so thankful you're here.
Thank you.
And I'm so thankful that your dad put his hands on your face and said, don't let go. We're not done.
We're not done.
And this feels like, this was never, especially what we were talking about today, this was not what we put on our what we put on the menu today. And I love it so much because we just let, seriously, the Lord guide us on how this is going to go.
Absolutely.
And I'm so thankful for it. And I absolutely can promise the two people that are watching, it's my little jokes, my running joke. I promise they will see you again. That I promise you. We have spent over 45 minutes talking and sharing. And I could not be more thankful for the space you've given me and for the time you've shared with us. Unfortunately, I do have to wrap it up.
I understand.
So let me ask you one question as we go. If there were one thing, because here's what I believe. We've been tasked, right, for this life.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is what literally keeps me going. Because I know I have challenges. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, again? And honestly, I've been through a real rough fucking 6 months. I'm like,
I understand.
I'm only 43. What's coming ahead of me?
Same.
Yeah, but we know there are people coming in behind us. Mm-hmm. So if you were to be able to give the upcoming healers that don't even know their gift yet, that don't even know it, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't give up. Don't give up, because we don't know what our path is. It's not for us to know. But if you look back on all of those trials and tribulations, you were never alone. And
So,
even in moments where you deny, and I've had those moments. I mean, we could talk a whole another 2 weeks and give this, but I've had those moments where I absolutely was against religion and the Lord. And I was absolutely against God. And even in those moments, he was beside me. And I always had this path. And I was meant to go through those hard times, because those people who are going to fight that battle can't do it from no experience of hardship.
Yeah,
and sure. No experience of the lack of love and the lack of the things that I'm trying to bring to people's lives.
So your one tip was to not give up.
Don't give up.
And how symbolic is it that your dad, your earthly father, put his hands on your face and said, you're not fucking done.
You're not done.
But he was moved by our heavenly Father.
Moment. I'm not talking about minutes later, half an hour later. In the moment
that you were
where
about to
my
call it
body
quits.
slumped, it was brought back
That's
by
not by
his
accident.
hands. That's not by accident. That's not by accident.
So we could
do this forever. Totally good.
And so the best way I feel like I could wrap up this episode, because I feel like this is a horribly bad place to wrap it up. We could go on for weeks. Is just to reiterate Marissa's advice. I know whoever is meant to see this is going to see it. So I need you to hear what she said, and I'll double down on it. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
You're created for so much good. And even in your worst moments, he's there. Especially in your worst moments, you're never alone. we have you, we see you, and we'll be here to keep you going. You just gotta just stay along with us. And we'll take it. Anyway, whatever. I gotta go. Until next time, all my love, all my light.